Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan. I am a real estate broker. I own a apartment locating company in Texas, and I also have a apartment locating and social media training coaching program for real estate agents. So I wanted to make this video because I think that as I've noticed, as anybody who has noticed that the past 4 years, there is a ton of people that are moving to Texas. And me being somebody who's been in real estate, but also who has lived in Houston, Austin, and Dallas, I'm from Dallas. I wanted to make a video about like currently right now what the difference is in those cities because I recently moved back to Dallas. I was planning on moving to Austin, and after several visits there, I've already lived in Austin before, but after several visits there, I realized that what the place that was best for me was Dallas. So I wanted to make a video just because I've been somebody who has been doing heavy research about Houston and Austin and Dallas over the last year as I was trying to figure out where I was going to move, but also being the fact that I've lived in all three cities and I'm in real estate. I just think this video would be helpful for those of you guys that are reaching out to me about moving here and needing help. So first things first. A lot of people are moving to Austin. A lot of people from California or from New York are moving to Austin. Austin's like one of the hit places to live right now. Austin is currently right now the most expensive of the three of Houston, Dallas, or Austin. Austin's the most expensive, and it's because it's the most desirable place right now. There was a lot of corporations that were moving there. Now some of those corporations have left or have decided not to move there anymore. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Austin is, of the three cities, like the place that is most known to have like things to do outside. That's one of the biggest drawbacks about Texas, I would say, is that there is not a lot of outdoorsy stuff to do. It does get super, super hot in Texas. So Austin has that going for them. So when I was thinking about moving to Austin, that's why I wanted to move to Austin. I have been living as a digital nomad in Mexico. I was in Thailand for a while. I lived in an RV for a while, and I wanted to move to Austin because Austin is known for having like more of like a hippie vibe, more chill vibe. And that's what was interesting to me about Austin because I'm really into like the wellness, spiritual side of things. Now, a lot of people are moving to Austin because also, I mean, there's a lot of people from California moving there. So it is kind of getting more of like a California feel, which some people love, some people hate, but these are all just things to consider if you're thinking about one of these three cities. So Austin has outdoorsy stuff to do. They have the Joe Rogan Comedy Club, which I was super excited about being able to go there. There's a lot of like live music, which I love live music. Like really, I like Austin because it has like the wellness, spirituality, outdoor stuff, and there's like cultural stuff I would say to do there as far as like live music and comedy outside of just like drinking. Because one of these cities I'll get to in a bit, the main like thing that I feel like people do is go out and drink. So I liked Austin because it seemed like there was like a lot of stuff, a lot of like organic like places and yeah, whatever. So Austin, it has that going for it. It definitely is more expensive than the other cities. I will say the infrastructure of Austin's a little bit strange because it initially was supposed to be like a small college town, but then it just continued to grow. So the traffic is horrible in Austin. It's always been horrible in Austin just because they just don't have like all of the roads built out so to hold as many people that have moved there. So that's something that obviously is not super ideal. It is a college town. Some people like that it's a college town because it's more like chill and laid back, but some people don't like that it's a college town. It is a lot more, I guess people say liberal or like blue. I don't get into politics and stuff like that, so I don't even know the right words to say, but it does lean more so on that side. So I have had some people that are like, absolutely, I would never live in Austin because of that reason. And some people want to live in Austin because of that reason. So Austin is like unique within itself. You do have like 6th Street and stuff like that, which to be honest, if you're not in college, you probably are not going on Dirty Six, which is what they call it. But Austin does have just like a lot of things to do. I would say that like me being somebody who's from Dallas, I noticed that when I would go to Austin, it seemed like there wasn't as much drinking that was going on. I am, like, as I mentioned, one of these cities, which I will say is Dallas. There's a lot of drinking going on, a lot of day parties, a lot of like, everybody always goes to happy hour. Everybody, like, there's something to do Monday through Sunday night as far as like going to a bar or a club. So Austin, I did notice there wasn't as much of that, it seems like, or maybe I just wasn't in the right places. But even the places people were telling me about, they're like, oh, this is where you can go do Sunday fun day. It wasn't like there wasn't really anybody there. So I, somebody who doesn't drink anymore right now in my life, I prefer that about Austin, that it is a little bit more on the wellness and not so much of a party place. Now that'll like help me move into Dallas. So Dallas is a place that people describe as somewhere that where you come to make money, or somewhere that you come to maybe raise a family. And it's true. There's a lot of people that, a lot of corporations have moved to Dallas too over the past 10 years. And a lot of people move to Dallas because of the opportunities for jobs. It is less expensive than Austin typically. And so you can get like, you can buy, it's not cheap anymore. Like nothing is cheap in Texas, but people from like other states think that Dallas is cheap when it comes to buying a home. So that is like one of the reasons why a lot of people want to come and raise families here, because they feel like they can get a house. Like the school districts in most of the areas in the DFW are like known for being good school districts. Yeah, it's just, it has that feel of like coming here to hustle or coming here to raise a family. And with this like hustle mentality, there is a lot of like partying, I would say. Like I feel like if you live like closer to downtown or to uptown, where there's a lot more like of a like single demographic, I guess I would say. So there is a lot of partying that goes on. There's like oftentimes like, I don't, as I mentioned, I'm not drinking right now. I haven't really been drinking for several years. And so as somebody who doesn't really live that lifestyle, there's a lot of times where I'm like, okay, well, what do we do on a Saturday? And there's just not really outdoorsy things to do. We do have the Katy Trail, which I'm on the Katy Trail like probably twice a day. There's a lot of people that you'll see rollerblading or biking or skateboarding on the Katy Trail. We do have a handful of parks, and they try to do like movie nights and stuff like that. But for the most part, Dallas is like trying to get better about having other things to do, other than like just partying or raising a family out in the suburbs. But Dallas definitely is a great place if you're wanting to like come and try to build yourself up. You're trying to like hustle, trying to build a business, trying to make money. This is a really good place to do that. So that's why a lot of people like Dallas. I will say one of the reasons why I chose to move to Dallas instead of Austin is because there's like a big international airport in Dallas, which I really like to travel. So I want to be able to have access to that, as opposed to living in Austin. I was going to have to travel, like most of the time if you're trying to get out internationally, you're having to fly to Houston. It's like Austin to Houston and then out. And so I really wanted to live in Dallas because of that was one of the reasons why. Now, I will say that something that Dallas does have going for us is that if you do live in the city of Dallas, it seems a lot easier to get in and out of like different neighborhoods or different pockets. It seems like Austin and Houston, it's like between the traffic and also the distance of where these like trendy ideal places are to hang out or to live or be, it just seems like everything is so far away from each other and the traffic is bad. So something I really like about Dallas is that you can get in and out of different areas. If I want to go hang out in this neighborhood, but then I want to go to that neighborhood, I can like make those moves. I will say, me being somebody who doesn't drive, that was something that was very important to me. Like even considering Houston, Austin, or Dallas when I was trying to move recently, that I went to Austin several times to try to find a place that seemed walkable. And everybody that wants to live in a walkable area in Austin, they all live downtown. And I didn't really like the downtown vibe because there's just like no trees unless you're on the Lady Bird Lake like trail, but there's no trees. And there was a lot of just like vacant parking lots or parking garages. So that doesn't really feel super safe to me to be walking. And it didn't seem like there was a lot of people out walking in downtown. So for downtown Austin to be like the area that most people want to live at if they want to walk in Austin. I didn't really like it. There is another area called Mueller that a lot of people go, like they say it's walkable, and I went there and it was cool, I guess, but it just seemed very commercial to me. And me being somebody who's been living in Mexico for the past like 6 months, I really wanted to live somewhere that kind of had character to it, and the Mueller area just seemed very like commercial to me. Yes, you could walk and there's people walking, but I didn't really like it. So Dallas, I would say it seems like there's a few more like walkable areas, like walkable neighborhoods, like Uptown. It is walkable. There are trees in Uptown. You have Lower Greenville, you have Bishop Arts. Like there are people out walking, and there are places where like it's like shops back to back to back, or restaurants back to back, or coffee shops, whatever. And so that was like probably one of the main reasons why I picked Dallas, even though I'm from here and I've lived here. When I was trying to figure out where I wanted to live, Dallas seemed like a really good option because I don't drive and I wanted to live somewhere that I could walk. So me living in Uptown, I can easily get to some of the other neighborhoods, or it's an like $5 Uber ride to the neighborhood next door. Whereas Austin and Houston, if you're going to be Ubering anywhere, it's far and the traffic's bad. So it's going to be an expensive Uber. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to pick Dallas. Now, as I mentioned, there's not a lot of like outdoor stuff to do. So I spent a lot of time at the parks and on the trail. And Dallas, I will say, is, I think most people would agree, is a little bit more pretentious of all three cities. Oftentimes people will say it's like the LA of the South. Like it's just, everything is aesthetically like, all the restaurants are beautiful. Most people like look nice all the time. Austin is a lot more chill. So you're going to go to the grocery store and there's going to be people like looking like a bum. And in Dallas, yes, you'll find that, but it's a lot more people like full face of makeup when they're at the gym. So Dallas is a little bit more pretentious, which I don't love about that. I wanted to get far away from that vibe, but you have to kind of make some sacrifices there. I will say that it seems like Dallas appears to be more diverse than I would say Austin is. So I really like that. If I'm walking down the street or I'm on the trail, it just seems like I'm hearing different languages being spoken. There's like different demographics, like age demographics too. It seems like Austin, there's like a college area, then there's like family areas, and then there's like maybe the single professionals areas. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem as diverse age wise, and also like culturally diverse too. So that was something that I don't really love about Austin. I want to live somewhere that's like very diverse. And so that's going to kind of lead me into Houston. So I lived in Houston for a year, and something I was really excited about with Houston is that a lot of people will say that it's like as culturally, if not more culturally diverse than New York City. I believe previously, I don't know if it is in 2024, but when I was living in Houston, Houston was the most diverse city in the country. And also the University of Houston was the most diverse university in the country. So Houston is extremely diverse, which I really, really loved. There is a lot of culture, I would say, there as far as like museums or art. They have a whole like museum district. They have a lot of different museums in Houston. So if you're somebody who doesn't like just like going out and just like doing happy hour, Houston had a lot of things to do, which I really appreciated. I will say Houston though is so big, like so big. It seemed like it took me 30 minutes, not just because of traffic, but because it was the actual distance to get from one area to another area. The like roads, which really, I mean, highways in Houston was super aggressive for me. Like if you want to get anywhere in Houston, you have to take like the loop, you have to get on the highways, and the way that the highways are set up in Houston, if you're like in the wrong lane, it's often like there's always traffic, so it's hard to like get over, and stuff comes up very, very quickly where it's like you're notified immediately and then you have to be over 5 lanes. So I just found driving in Houston was super just intimidating. I didn't like it because it just seems like the highways were so complex. There was always traffic and there was just a whole bunch of lanes. Like I just did not like it at all. It seemed like the And I will say Dallas is known for having really aggressive drivers. Houston also, I would say, would have aggressive drivers as well. Austin, of the three, I feel like the driving, even though there's traffic in Austin, it's not as complex. It's like there's two different highways, two that go this way, two that go this way. It's a lot easier. But Houston, there's a lot of cultural stuff to do. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of great shopping. People go to Houston specifically to go to the Galleria Mall. I don't really care that much about shopping and stuff like that, so that's not a big thing for me. But people that they do care about that, that's cool to know. Houston is like driving distance to Galveston. Most people will tell you Galveston is not really cool, but if you're somebody who just wants to physically look at water, it's nice that you can see that in Galveston. It's only like a 45-minute drive. I will say a lot of people say Houston is a big party place. There are a lot of clubs that stay open after hours. It's Houston's a big party place. There's so much to do, but I will say that it just seems like Houston's more of like I don't say a chill party place, but Dallas definitely, like, it seems like every single place in Dallas does bottle service and has cocktail waitresses and all of that. Houston does too, but I just feel like Dallas overall is the most bougie of all of these. But Houston's great because it has an international airport. It seems like it's cheap to fly out of Houston, so that's kind of a bonus. Houston has like tons of different food options too. Like if you're a big foodie, people love Houston because it is so culturally diverse. They have tons of different food options there. I will say that I personally didn't really love Houston because it seemed like I was just so far away from everything, but it could have been because I was living in the wrong neighborhood. I lived downtown at the time when I should have moved to the Galleria or to Uptown. But even those areas I didn't really, really love because I don't really like shopping, so I don't know, wasn't super excited about that. But I did really like the fact that Houston has a lot of like artistic stuff to do. They do have several trails, which it's better than Dallas because Dallas has basically nothing to do outside. And what else is I going to tell you all about Houston? Houston has a really great like medical community, I guess. So a lot of people like go to Houston just to go to the hospitals and stuff there, which again, that's not really my vibe, but if you are into all of the medical stuff, then like you might really like that. So there's obviously a lot of really big difference between Houston, Dallas, and Austin. I would say when I'm like looking at them, I would say that Dallas is the most like pretentious, bougiest, but it's like smaller. Houston is much larger, much more diverse. It does have bougie, but it also does have more laid back. So that kind of has it go. That's great about Houston if you want something like kind of in the middle. Austin, I would say, again, it's starting to get kind of a bougie vibe because people from California are moving there and they're getting a lot more like upscale restaurants and shopping. But Austin, for the most part, is a college town and it's like, it used to be a very hippie place. So people like, it still has the roots of that. And there's a lot of outdoorsy stuff to do. So I think it really just depends on what's most important to you. When I was looking to move, I was looking for somewhere that had options to travel internationally very easily. So that checked off for Dallas and Houston. I was looking for a place that had a lot of walkability. Houston has like no walkability. I can't really think of any neighborhoods in Houston that are super walkable. Austin has like two, but Houston, I literally can't think of any. So I wanted somewhere that was super walkable. I wanted somewhere that had some sort of outdoorsy stuff to do, which Dallas doesn't really have much, but I still ended up here. I would say that Houston and Austin probably have more outdoorsy stuff to do. But all in all, like the most important things for me was being able to be in a walkable area, be in like a small area. Houston and Austin, it just seems like everything is so far apart from one another. So I ended up obviously back in Dallas. I don't know how long I will be here. Maybe I'll eventually move to Austin, but as of right now, I think I'm still like hoping that Austin will have more of like a walkability, like neighborhoods or options. So I really, really enjoyed living in Houston, Austin, and Dallas. You'll notice a lot of people either hate Houston or they hate Dallas. And it seems like everybody likes Austin. For the most part, it seems like everybody likes Austin. I wouldn't say everybody likes Austin to live, but everybody enjoys to go visit there. But for me, I saw the benefits of like both Houston and Dallas. As I mentioned, like I really appreciated the diversity in Houston. I appreciated at times that it was more relaxed and chill. Dallas seems like it's just everything is brand new, everything is like shiny and beautiful. Houston, you didn't get that vibe. You got a lot more chill vibes. You wouldn't have every single restaurant that's like an Instagram moment. Dallas is every single restaurant is an Instagram moment. So there's so many different things to consider whenever you're thinking about Austin, Houston, or Dallas. As I mentioned, have been in real estate for the last 10 years. I've lived in all three cities. I help people find apartments in all three cities. So if you're considering Houston, Austin, or Dallas, please reach out to me. I would love to tell you more about my perspective of the different cities, the different neighborhoods. I can be completely unbiased and just listen to you and say, hey, what do you like? What is your vibe? And I can pretty much tell you what I think will be a good fit for you. As I mentioned, just moved back to Texas about 5 months ago after living out of the country, and I've just did all of this research myself. So, I was going to mention too, Houston, I would say is the least expensive of the three. That's a really big thing that I should mention because a lot of people are concerned about rents, about rental rates. So yeah, Houston, I would say is like the least expensive. But all in all, if you're looking to move to Texas, no matter if it's Houston, Dallas, Austin, or even San Antonio, I'd love to help you find your next apartment. My service is totally free. So all you have to do is just shoot me a text message and I can send you some options based off of your search. We can even get on a call and I can kind of walk you through my experience in the different places. But I want to know in the comments below, have you considered moving to Dallas, Houston, or Austin? And my light just turned off. And where are you at currently right now? Like, what's the city that you live in? I want to know in the comments below. And I will leave my contact info below as well. Talk to you guys soon.